Okay, we're rolling. Hi, I just meditated for 25 minutes and now I'm talking. I feel glad I have this structure that has allowed me to carve out or set aside space to meditate most days. It feels like digestion for my life. It feels so useful in that sense. Because often every day, I set up a to-do list, and often that to-do list has many tasks, which I mostly enjoy. I do like to flit about from task to task. I don't tend to enjoy being engaged for a long time in one focused thing. Yeah, I like switching back. Something about doing many things. It's enjoyable to me. So, yeah, having downtime feels like a good other side of that pendulum where all I do is lay down and that's that, I think. And I thought about 3 words that came up for me when I already tweeted about this, but I'll say it. Last night, I laid on some grass and looked up at the night sky through tree branches and felt the ground beneath me. This is during the new moon last night. And from the ground, 3 words came to me. They were connection, safety, and stillness. And while meditating just now, I understood how much those 3 things are things I really desire. I have them all right now, to some degree. And I want more. Yeah. One reason why how I interface with Twitter, I keep forgetting the definition of the word ambivalent. I think my relationship to Twitter is ambivalent, thinking multiple contradictory things about something. It continues to take up more time in my day than I would like. I'm sometimes not intentional about being on there. And I have made incredible, valuable, extraordinary connections through Twitter. It was my friend Trisha, who I met through Twitter, who also lives in Austin, who had encouraged me to do the moon ground experience last night. Many other connections through Twitter, some of which I cherish a lot. And at the same time, I'm wanting similarly cherished connections in person in my life here in Austin. I have a really great, broad web of friends and acquaintances, largely through attendance at the same events, the same groups. And I want depth. I know this is my place to step up in, but I don't know how to shift these acquaintance or friend connections into something deeper, as in where we regularly want to be in contact or meet up or spend time together. Because I do have that with people who don't live in Austin, where we have regular phone calls or communication. But less so for me with people in person here. So that's the deeper connection I want. I always feel safe as a man, as a person. I generally feel capable and able to handle whatever issues, circumstances, situations come up for me. And I feel insecure financially. I'm going to very soon withdraw an investment to see a number go up to make me feel better, more comfortable with my money situation right now. And I would like to think about money less. I would like to feel more safe as far as the inflow financially. And I am working on it in multiple ways. And at the same time, I feel slow. I realize I don't have much resilience with coding, especially as I'm learning more full stack related skills and information to help me make more complex web apps than I tend to make. So I want to return to doing Pomodoros, because I think if I know I can fully turn away from the code just for 5 minutes and do nothing, it'll help me be more resilient with any given coding session, as opposed to my sporadic breaks I take in my current process. Yeah. And coding is the thing that will, in the short term, like get me sustainable financial security. So that's why I mention it here. And stillness came up third from the ground last night, and it does feel the least obvious or resonant, but it's not easy for me to rest, especially as an unemployed person who isn't quite sure where the financial security will come from. Being still sometimes feels like a waste or unproductive or unintelligent, because if I'm not doing income generating activity or learning or working on my health or connecting with people, if I'm just resting, if I'm just being still, how useless. I'm being sarcastic. But it is not always evident, just because of the nature of stillness, doing nothing, just being. The usefulness isn't as obvious to me as the usefulness of doing stuff. So, in a more ideal or living a life that would feel like more resonant than the one I currently live, or more free and peace. It would involve deeper in-person connections, feelings of safety financially, and more places in the day where, or in my routine, where I am still. I do nothing, and I don't feel guilty about it. Hope you've been enjoying this red light on the green plant. You'll just have to take my word for it that it is green. Another thing I feel like sharing is about being congruent. I thought about this while working out. I've wanted for a long time to be a model, to receive money, to be good looking in front of a camera. I did it for free a few times years ago, and the bottleneck for that is right now not having the body of a model. I'm saying this because if I have this desire, then sometimes my actions aren't always congruent with that desire, which is to say, I think a model is made in the kitchen, and sometimes I eat more than would be consistent with that desire to be a model. So, I feel like accountability sometimes helps me. Mostly with myself. I do my best not to lie to myself or deceive myself as best as I can. And I feel like it could be fun to share here. Like, hey, when I remember to share this, did I move one day closer to becoming a model? And today I did. I'm glad to report. I'm one day closer. And of course, that's just the eternal human dilemma of valuing some invisible, intangible thing in the long term versus some immediate thing in the short term immediately. Y'all know, you get it. And the great thing about being me is when I notice, oh, I am deceiving myself. Thing is not working. I get to do something different, to try something else to cooperate with myself. Right now it's recognizing that I do enjoy sweet. I like a little treat. So I found literal small treats that I feel that I can enjoy without overdosing on them. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Do I want to think about the model desire? Because I am curious about my own ego. What is the intention behind modeling? It is a good marker of health. There's some correlation there. I would like to live as long as possible because I feel like the world is very interesting. And so I want to know as much of the story of the world as possible. Being paid based on how you look is a skill. And it's not a skill everyone can have. And so to live in a way that would grant me that opportunity, I think speaks to some skillfulness or some admirable sort of character that I would like to have. Yeah, I do think it's less about like the literal opportunity and payment of being photographed and more of the type of person who has that body, who has like the discipline and the ability and the concentration and the long-term congruency with themselves to have and maintain such a physique. All of that is what I care about there. And it's nice to look hot. We got an ego. I did finish in the past few days. I had a 30-day trial where the rule was I wake up at 6 a.m. every day. And I did it. I think it was February 7th through March 7th or 8th. Yeah. I think whatever day Thursday was my last official day of it. And feels good. I don't feel a pressure to strictly keep up with it. I do want to go to bed by a certain time each day. And I want to wake up feeling rested. And having more hours in the morning has been great for getting started with my long to-do list on a given day. I've started kind of slowly some days, and that feels good too because I still have so many daylight hours to do things. Yeah, so I feel very good about having given myself that gift of the 30-day trial in order to know what it's like to be an early riser and keep that skill with me, even if I don't want to strictly adhere to the 6 a.m. part of it every single day. I would like to find another 30-day trial because that one was good. I'll let that sit with me. Something to chew on as I get ready for bed here. So, thanks for listening. Question for you. What's something you would want to experiment with for 30 days in a row? What sounds exciting to try out for a month? All right. Have a good night.